But people use nutrition like to look good or something. Nutrition is longevity before anything else. Nutrition, proper eating is. And so even more so when you start getting injuries like this. So the first thing I would change it is make sure that you're taking enough protein to feed the muscle, but also enough good protein that feeds connective tissue. Are legs important for you to train or build for the rest of the body? It's a twofold. What time of the year? Training, don't train. I don't care. The nutrition is key.
Anyway, things, I had that shoulder injury and I've been rehabbing it. And I'm not doing any rehab through physical therapy. So I'm just reading in books and coming up with things to where I'm not putting any stressors on any of the deltoids, but just the rotator cuff muscles. So the supraspinatus is what I tore. So does he have any... would you have any advice on anything like that?
So you didn't do surgery or anything like that?
No, surgery wasn't required. It wasn't a complete tear.
Okay.
The MRI, the doctor, he said, I really can't tell if it's a new injury or if it's something old that you've aggravated.
Okay, so I think that first and foremost, I love that you're doing rehab, and I love that you're trying to get movement through there. That's number one, that we got to keep the movement regardless of the pain. But the second thing is have you brought in, and which is great, a friend of Heath's that I am blessed to know, Jordan Rubin, and I have been talking quite a bit about nutrition. And I know that one of the big things is about connective tissue and in that inner body and the joints and everything, that nutrition goes in hand, especially with recovery. Because obviously you have to eat the right foods for the body to recover, and that means injuries like that. And I know that people, they use, I don't know where this happened, but people use nutrition like to look good or something. I just want to eat it so I can look good or something like that. It's nutrition is longevity before anything else. Nutrition, proper eating is. And so even more so when you start getting injuries like this. So the first thing I would change it is make sure that you're taking enough protein to feed the muscle, but also enough good protein that feeds connective tissue. So there's like collagen and egg yolks and stuff like that to help with the connective tissue and healing that part of the body. Keep the rotations and the movement in there, and as soon as you can, get back into some lifting and force some good movement into that shoulder. Your body comes back so much quicker than the mind. And now Heath could speak about this all day long. He's probably been around so many athletes that their body came back strong, but the mind never did. I don't think I can run on this knee anymore. I don't think my shoulder's messed up. And I find that when I meet people and I work with people online, one of the first things is I always ask about injuries. And they say, yeah, I got an injury. I got a bad shoulder. Okay, how old are you? I'm 50. So when did you hurt the shoulder? High school. Okay, so I think you kind of get that I'm not saying that's you. I'm just saying that's how strong the mind is. That somebody was injured at one time. Get back in there as soon as you possibly can. Movement is great, but get into the lifting again and everything as soon as. And I would say see a doctor as well and see how much further you can keep going on your own.
Jeremy, Jordan Rubin would tell you dark meat chicken, not the breast. He would tell you eat the full egg, the egg yolk. He would tell you if you get your hands on duck eggs instead of regular eggs, get that extra cholesterol, the extra fat, and then he would tell you red meat. So when Mikey talks about connective tissue, listen, the meat of the bicep can be fed with egg whites, chicken, tuna, you name it. But connective tissue, protein recovery is going to be lean, good quality red meat. It is going to be that egg, the full egg, and then it's going to be dark meat chicken, not breast. And so add those in, and then obviously you're just balancing your fats out after that to try to keep your same macro balance healthy. What else we got for Mikey? Hey, Dimitri, our 17-year-old young stud from South Florida. You got something for Michael Hearn?
Well, it's a little bit of a well, short notice, but I guess just let me think for a second.
That's right. We'll let you think for a second.
Come back to me.
Can I go? Mike, thank you. This is Manoj Lawler here.
Hello.
From you live from Kaiser Permanente.
There we go.
Thank you for joining us, man. Just wanted to say it's a tremendous honor to have you here, and I'm really blessed for that. And on behalf of Heath, I'm sure you're welcome back anytime too. Quick question. So for thinner guys looking to bulk up, 2 questions. How important are kind of a dumb question? How important are legs? You know, like building up your legs to help build up all of you. And what's something not to do? What's something like a common pitfall for thinner guys?
So that's a great question. Are legs important for you to train or build for the rest of the body? It's a twofold. First off, by stimulating the legs and training the legs properly, it stimulates the whole body and allows your whole body to grow more. So it's an amazing thing on what the nervous system does with that pressure on it, and how by training legs, it's going to add more size to your upper body as you train those. It's kind of a give, believe it or not. Something that I would make sure that you fully understand is, I don't care if your legs get bigger and bigger and bigger. A lot of guys don't want big legs. I just want the stimulation of that bar on your neck and pushing down, and the nervous system firing. A full body exercise like that, or like deadlifts, there's nothing can replace that. And it's not even about weightlifting. It's about keeping the function of the body and the bone density strong as you age. Because you're a pup right now. And, you're barely 19. So I'm just saying, so it's I want you to be better than you are now in 25 years. And so that's what I'm trying to teach people, that you guys, if you don't make the little mistakes I made as a teenager and 20 years old by training like a freak, there's so much more you guys can do than I even did. And I'm in my mid 50s. So you'd be killing it.
And I'm almost double at that age, so thank you. Your check will be in the mail. Literally 37, but thank you.
And then the second thing I would say, I know that you are a busy person. You're there at the hospital and everything like that. What I recommend is this: nothing takes the place of nutrition. And I'm glad we're talking about this today, because I just got off the phone because I had 3 questions for Stan Efferden. And there's very few people I get a call that have both the book smarts and the longevity of doing something in this realm of health and fitness. And he's one of those guys. And we both agree that nutrition, no matter what time of the year, training, don't train, I don't care. The nutrition is key. And you don't have to be on a deficit. That's not what we're saying. We're just saying on a good balanced meal to feed the body. Because remember, weightlifting is to get better. But nutrition keeps you at where you're at, or it retains the muscle that you have. Okay?
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
My name is Nolan Welch. I'm in Austin, Texas right now.
Yeah, pleasure.
But my question is a little more around like career sustainability, as someone who's pounding their body for long periods of time, lots of physical disciplines. How do you stay soft, man? How are you so connected to family? How are you so sincere in the conversations you have and the one-on-ones? And what are the disciplines we may not see that helps you maintain that emotional rest, that mental rest, and things like that, man? What's your advice for growing influence, being hungry, but staying present?
I will forever be the young kid in special ed that was teased, and my friends in that classroom was teased, and so I always had to stand up to fight. So I will always be that kid. So the drive to achieve is just something I've done for so long that I don't know any other way. I need a battle. And I think Heath could tell you that I wake up every morning and I need that, the pressure of the weights on me, the battle with the guys, and that drive. And I think I've done it for so long, and I'm a lone wolf by nature, that that time allows me to be meditation. Like you guys were all here talking about stuff, and that's my It's not a workout, and I think Heath could kind of tell you that. Yes, I have a body that does photo shoots, and I do this and that and stuff, but it's actually the lifting itself. It's like you guys praying and getting in peace with yourself. That's my peace. and that centers me, and it centers me both as a gladiator, a man,
Yeah.
and also it takes away, in a sense, it also releases that energy in a sense to where I can then be a husband to Mona, a father to Titan, a friend to Heath. Well, yeah, somewhat. But I think that's what it is. And I live such a disciplined, I don't know, Heath could come up with a better word than discipline for me on this aspect.
Dumb and stupid.
My schedule does not vary. I stay 100% to I'm going to bed. I get up. In a sense that, hey, come on out tonight. I'm not the guy, you know. I'm the guy that says, heck yeah, I'll be there, and I'm off to bed, you know. So I got my schedule. I got my main priorities focused, and I think the one thing is I use the chip on my shoulder in a good way and not a bad way. The chip on my shoulder as a kid that couldn't read, or special ed, or sticking up for the kids that were in wheelchairs. I think that chip just keeps me pushing forward, that I like the odd dogs, the ones that live outside the lines, but live, politely. And I've always Bruce Lee's my biggest fan, and it always amazes me on someone that's so big and strong, in a metaphor like Bruce Lee or somebody, that could be so humble and kind. I guess it's kind of like the lion that's walking through you going, wow, that's so adorable. I just want to pet him. But at the same time, he could rip you apart. And so I just I try to live in that space.
Well, I never knew that you were someone that got, picked on, you're small and things like that. So, again, that's a lot of relatability you can bring to that. And hey, funny side story. The only reason I'm on this call right now is when you flushed you wiped up your protein shake with his jersey. So I was following you. So God was using you that day, by the way. What does he have against? What does he have against?
Why is he doing? That was so disrespectful.
I know. I was like, what? And I literally went to the page and I was like, oh, that's how I'm built right. So hey.
I'm glad you reminded me, because that might be the best one I've ever done.
It was. Y'all just need to know there was no way Mike came up with that on his own.
100%.
He was still special ed, so nothing changed. All right, hey, let's
Great question, though. Thank you.
Yeah, it was a great question.
I got one.
All right, go for it, Jake.
So Mike, Jake from Chicago. I'm on a weight loss journey right now.
Okay.
Down about 65 pounds.
Love it.
With help from Heath and the guys.
He's crushed it, Mike. He's done really good, man. He's fought hard.
I find myself falling off the diet block. I'm killing it in the gym. I feel good in the gym, but my diet is just not there. And I find myself getting down on myself and hard on myself. So how do you persevere through failed times?
I understand that that's the day. That's just the day. And I instantly get back on track the next day. And I have found 100% that it's you doing the very best you can that day will get you to your goal. As long as you don't start doubling up the days, that kind of stuff. Those days have to stop. And then it's just coming back to you. Are you keeping a journal? Is the food prepped the day before? So I've been doing this for 40 years and stuff. And my journal's with me 24/7. And this journal, it's not so much my workout or anything like that, but it's the notes of what I need to get done today. I don't need to be busy. I need to be productive. So that food from today was made yesterday. That's done. So you're not going to cheat with that. There's no bad food in the house, right?
There is.
There is. Kids, wife. You have kids and wife?
No, just the belly.
Yeah, that food's gone tonight. It's gone. And I'm a foodie. I can't have, and Heath will tell you this, Mona has a cupboard in the house, but she always moves it and hides my good food that I get once every 2 weeks or something like that. I can't have food in the house, so don't put it there. That's out. Start taking a note. Have the food prepped the day before. All those things will help. And then just know if you mess up for some reason, do two things though for us. And I'd love to hear how this works out for you. Write down what triggered it, what was it, what made you go there. and then the next day just get right back on track.